guess you can get it out up
We're
here.
going to take the carpet out, and there's 2 hatches we can lift, and put the A-frame in, and
and there's no other cooler, right? Like aside from the gear, like it's not.
There's
definitely engine oil.
There's not coming from the engine. We're not losing gear oil. This one tends to be a little smokier on startup, and a little less, but it starts right away.
Yeah.
Runs smooth, makes power.
Is this a 2-valve head or a 4-valve head?
4.
4.
4, yeah. Yeah, pretty rare to see 2 valves these days. They are out there, and actually they're quite good heads. They're there's a lot more material left between the valves, so
Yeah, cracking.
it'd be a lot stronger, but they're not going to make the bigger horsepower that they're.
Yeah.
These things, I guess, what are they, 300s?
280s.
280s.
280Ms.
Yeah.
Or 671M.
Yeah. You had this guy checked though, yeah?
Yeah. We haven't checked that one, but we haven't lost any coolant in the or anything.
I mean, it's
in the gear. We haven't had to add gear oil in 2 years. You want a rag?
just see it's not too dirty.
We do it every year.
Yeah, I think it definitely probably under the head has probably got some hardened O-rings.
So my boat partner and I, we don't do what you do for a living, but our theory is, since the oil pressure is higher than the water pressure in the coolant system, the oil is being forced into the water, but not the other way.
Yeah, 100%. I just said that to Grandma walking down the dock. The it's got individual O-rings under the cylinder head for all the passageways for the coolant. There's one O-ring that's figure 8 O-ring, they call it. And that figure 8 O-ring seals oil and on one side, coolant on the other.
And that's up at the front or at the back? I just watched.
Depends on the variation of the engine. Each engine is going to be different.
I just watched a detailed video from
that figure 8 O-ring will harden over time.
Oh, okay.
And then what happens is the oil pressure,
or if it gets hot.
Past. Yeah, or it gets hot. Yeah, I mean, if you overheat the engine, that burn the O-rings out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's possible. Either way, has it had an overheat?
I think it got warm, not critically, but it probably has been at some point.
At some point. So I mean, all it takes is once to degrade the
O-ring.
The O-ring a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you've covered your bases. Like, I mean, it's pretty much on a Detroit. You're quite limited if it's not making it into the oil panel. It has to be between this plane here.
Okay.
And like I said, I think it's wise to pressure test the head once we get it off. Check all that stuff, seeing as how it's off.
Yeah.
So when it's off, do you do what I would call in the automotive world a valve job? And
yeah, we would. I would run it through the machine shop and just check, make sure everything's in spec and everything else. I mean, they're a resilient head. We nowadays things are different. We end up replacing a lot more, but these things will.
Yeah.
You can reuse the valve train, no problem. Just make sure all the valves are seated, sealed, and good. Check the spring tensions on the springs, and replace the keepers on the valve retaining washer, and then pressure test it just to make sure that the injector tube isn't leaking. But the injector tube won't cause this problem.
No.
That's going to add combustion to there or burn antifreeze into the air boxes. But seeing as I was off, you might as well check them.
Yep.
Pressure test it. Check, make sure it's straight. Obviously, make sure the head's flat if it needs a surface or whatever.
We can run the across the top of the head too, the flat square.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do if it's warped. These things will take a lot of warpage and won't be a problem. But there's no head gasket issue per se. I don't believe it's one of the seal rings. It's all individual gasket or compression gasket. If it was that, you'd be again blowing the water out of
Yeah, cool.
out of the
I'm just
system.
recording this so that
don't
Don's
forget.
partner can hear
Okay.
what you're saying. I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to
I
put it
charge
on.
extra.
Well, then at least show us your feet. Sorry, Ryan. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
hey,
about
whatever-
30,
whatever
34 and a
pays the
half hundred hours on these.
It's not bad.
And I don't know if the injectors have ever been done on this one, so we may as well do the injectors on both, like just a tune-up.
Do the injectors on both engines?
What do you think? Because he's going to do them on this one.
So, so just so I make sure I'm correct, there's no pressure rail. You actually push a plunger and inject the fuel when the follower comes down.
Correct.
Okay. So, do you check them or do you replace them? How much are injectors?
I would, in this day and age, I use Fred Holmes fuel injection. I would send the injectors there, and have him just go through them.
Zero them.
These ones got big honking tips on them, and so he'll check the tips, make sure they're not cracked, make sure they're flowing properly. It depends on what, but generally speaking, there's no such thing as new anymore on these engines.
Sure, yeah.
Everything
Everything's
is
rebuilt.
rebuilt.
Okay, all right.
I
okay.
think you're way better off to rebuild yours than buy another rebuilt
Yes,
set to
yes,
exchange.
Yeah.
I don't love the exchange world.
And then do you try to put the same injector in the same position?
If he calibrates them, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't. It's almost impossible to get much over 2100 the way this thing is propped. Does that mean it's getting? What about the fuel?
Now, there's not much you can do there. What is the no load speed? Do you know?
I've got a piece of paper. I thought it was 2600, 26.
That's a pretty big droop.
Yeah. I think we're over.
What do you mean by droop?
So they got your governors here.
Yeah.
Governor droop would be, your droop from no load, meaning sitting neutral.
Yeah.
Revved all the way up. We check max
No load.
RPM versus full load RPM. The space in the middle is called the droop.
Gotcha.
So 2600, 21, you got a 500 RPM droop. Your limit, we always try and keep droop around 150, 175. 200 would be kind of your peak limit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're overloaded. And if you're overloaded at the top end, you're overloaded through all ranges,
Right.
which is hard on an engine. So we should look at that. Now, there's a couple things that could be related to, not just prop.
Yeah. Or tune-up.
Could be tune-up. There's ways to check it. It's
Yeah.
a little difficult on these engines.
But I
with
think-
this pipe in the way. But
If we pull it apart, put it back together, part of this would be like setting the engines up.
yeah, we would reset the rack. We would set our no load, and then we would do. You could test it.
Yeah.
And we could see what our full load is.
Yeah.
Again, if
Like
you do all that, then it's got to be in the drivetrain.
In the prop.
color.
The boat's way heavier than it should be too.
I guess that
Yeah.
thing on top's not original.
Well, no.
No. Yeah. So I mean, those are all things to factor in, right?
Yeah.
Two strokes are pretty resilient. Probably if it's a 4-stroke engine, it'd be worn out a lot sooner if it was overloaded like that. And I mean, it doesn't affect it fully because most of the time you're not running it at
Yeah.
2100.
They're running at
16,
1500
16.
Yeah, yeah.
1500 is about
max. Yeah.
25% of the time. We run at 1200 a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
But if it weren't hard, see, we get to about 800 on the EGT at about 18 and a half, 1900. And it'd be nice to be able to run a little faster without overloading the engine.
yeah. I mean, it is. You must. That's that's pretty hot for a non-turbo engine. That's getting up there.
And so why would it be running so hot, right?
Overloaded.
Overloaded. Yeah, like inefficiencies through all ranges. So it's the fact that you got that droop. Regardless, if you're in full fuel on the rack, you're putting in, just the fuel that you should be hitting 2400, which at 2400 requires a lot more airflow or everything else.
Sure.
So you're injecting the same amount of fuel at a lesser speed,
Yeah.
and that's going to raise all the temperatures of everything.
So what's
And could be a culprit of why this is the way that it is, because there's such a hot surface between that head gasket and
Did you guys, if you're roasting, should we relocate to another?
I'm okay for a minute.
I'm
You're right,
not
okay,
complaining.
yeah.
Like
All
I
right.
said, I was just lying on my back on a cold aluminum boat this morning. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'll warm up in here.
Okay.
So what's the fix for that? If it's not
propeller, I mean, it's propeller, respecking the propeller. Yeah. And I mean, you know, there was very, you know, I feel like the thing's been phased out, but for many years everyone thought, well, get a bigger propeller, run at a shorter speed, and the vessel will be more efficient. But engine-wise, it's not easier on the engine.
what is it in fuel consumption?
It's going to be harder on it, yeah, 100%. Like if you know, like I said, if you're overloaded on a propeller, it's through all ranges. So, you know, at 1200 RPM, naturally, you're putting a lot more fuel in it to achieve 1200 RPM than you should be.
So what you're saying is that we're getting less fuel economy
100%.
than if we
Yeah.
and like, is it the right term, de-pitch the proper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you're de-pitch. And it wouldn't take much probably to get that to elevate, whether it's you know pitch or dimension. It needs to come out of it. A prop guy would have to be more, but you know, a prop guy's going to ask you the questions that you're going to have to answer. If what is no load speed, what is full load speed, and then make sure it's accurate. Have you checked with a hand tack? Just to me, you know, I mean, 2100 is pretty broad, so I'm sure it's low, but it should be checked with
it's easy enough to
a
do.
hand tachometer and just digital one. Make sure that
The
speed's
tachometers are even accurate.
and then of course you got your if you come down and check all these linkages too, whether these are
They're getting all the way over.
and things like that, right? I mean, you want to if you ever look into the propellers, you want to make sure you're accurate.
Yeah, you got to push it out.
Yeah, you want to make sure you push it out. There's a little screw right here. This is a buffer screw. Makes a bit of a mess. I got a little tool that mitigates how much oil comes out of there, but actually I take that out of there. And if we go full speed, how I go, I don't come and grab this. I take a little tool and I carefully stick it inside and I manually jam that rack full.
Okay.
And that overrides the governor, meaning that's your limit. Like you're on prop governor then, right? And that's how a boat is governed. It's governed by the propeller.
By the load.
But yeah, the load of the propeller
Yeah.
governs the speed of the engine under load. So I bypass that. We go full fuel. Once you do that, it's called a dead rack. If you've dead racked it and that's all you got, you're on propeller 100%.
Yep.
So I see a lot of these engines not set up properly.
Yeah, they've
And
been
that's
running
one
for
thing
so
I deal
long.
with constantly. People always saying, "Well, I need to get this set up. I got to do controls. I got to do propeller." So, we got to go dead rack. They never want to pay the 4 or 5 hours it takes to go out and do it, and it saves them thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because if I dead rack it and all of a sudden I get RPM, I know it's not propeller. I know it's in the rack. I know it's in the injector. I know it's in setting under the valve cover. It's just on these mechanical engines, it's a step that that shouldn't be avoided, right?
Well, for probably 10 years before Don bought the boat, I know that it had not been set up. So there's an 18-year period of no.
So most of the time, I mean, it's got to be pretty far out to do it. Most of the time, you have other running issues, large hunting or rolling at idle and things like this. If the rack's that far out, but at the end of the day, we can get it all set up, tuned up, and then, like I said, a quick sea trial, we can determine exactly what it's putting out, right?
So if you did that whole setup, then you would want to go set up this one as well, right?
Yeah, I think that's what Graham was getting at. Like,
Yeah,
do the injectors, and that way everything's the same.
Yep.
It's never been done.
The cost of doing the injector is not
I think
huge.
they're about $210 right now. They've gone up in price over the years.
To rebuild.
And I can dump it all off at Fred Holmes for you, because I mean I know the guys there. I mean, I'd put it through, it's your business, but it would be, I can
it
save
doesn't
you the
matter
trip.
to me. I mean, it's like whatever. That kind of stuff doesn't matter. Either way, but I've been using Fred Holmes now since Detroit Diesel closed their fuel shop.
Bastards.
Yeah, we had a good deal there for many years. We used to provide them all of the injector component parts, and then they used to rebuild all their injectors. So it was very, very good deal. But now they've shut that down, unfortunately. Like everything, the old guy retired, and they had no one coming up behind him.
You're it.
They shut her down.
So one other question is, fluid level hardly ever changes after it's turned off. That one goes down. So there is coolant going somewhere. But that's on the fresh side, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's on the engine side.
That's fresh water. It's a coolant.
Yeah. So that's circulating through the block.
Correct.
Like milkshake is circulating through the block.
Yeah.
Well, it's going somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going down, but like it's very strange. You haven't seen it in, generally, usually over time, you do get a little bit both ways.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that you haven't.
But the oil tests have been just fine. Oil
Yeah, we
analysis.
got 3 years of oil.
But I mean, I've done,
SOS.
you know, I've had many of SOS. I mean, I've taken engines apart with holes in the block, and
Yeah.
take an oil sample, and
It's
comes
not.
back fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, so you never really know, but generally they're pretty good at picking up glycol contaminations. But you know, when's the last time this baby was done?
That's we've been keeping up to that.
Yeah.
We do get like, as you can see, every
Yeah.
year, like, it gets rotted every year. It's been out twice to be redone. The last time, like, 3 years ago, boiled it by Gary.
Okay.
The oil's changed every year. We had a bit of an electrolysis issue, which we solved now, thank goodness. So,
You know, that's a very clean vessel.
yeah.
It's nice.
What do you think of the hydraulics behind you?
Well, see, very nice.
Not bad.
No.
We stabilized it.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a big job.
it was.
That was a huge job. After I saw it, I just couldn't imagine that you did all that, and it just
I'm a
the
dummy.
sizes of these hoses are ridiculous. Running that all the way up to the bow and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Criminy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
So you have a
Stabilizers on a variable
hydraulic,
speed hydraulic thruster.
wow.
So there's a variable speed pump in the accessory drive of both engines.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way to do it these days.
Yeah,
I can see it all here. It's very nice.
yeah. We're not messing around.
No, not at all. And the okay, that's a seawater cooled hydraulic.
Cooler. Yeah, there's 2 coolers. Yeah. Yeah, because the thruster has quite a lot of
Must be a
flow
very
rate.
smooth ship.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
Okay,
good.
well, you let